In a small town surrounded by dense forests, a detective named Wilson received a mysterious phone call on a dark and windy night. Wilson was sitting in her cozy living room, enjoying a cup of hot tea, when her phone rang. The voice on the other end sounded desperate and hurried. "Please, you have to help me. My child is missing." The voice on the phone was faint and anxious. "I've searched everywhere, but there's no trace." Wilson could feel the panic in the voice, and she knew she had to act quickly. Wilson immediately headed to Maya's house, located on the edge of the forest. The house looked quiet and dark. When Wilson knocked on the door, Maya's mother opened it with red eyes and a tired face. "Thank you for coming," she said softly. "Please come in." Inside the house, the atmosphere felt tense. Maya's mother showed Wilson Maya's tidy but empty room. "This is Maya's room. She never leaves it like this. Her favorite doll is always on the bed." Wilson found a diary under Maya's pillow. The diary was filled with Maya's daily notes, and the last page contained something disturbing. "There is someone in the forest watching me," Maya wrote. Wilson decided to talk to the neighbors. Many of them said they last saw Maya playing near the edge of the forest. "She often plays there, but never stays until night," one of the neighbors said. Wilson decided to go into the forest, even though the night was getting late. The forest was dark and eerie, with strange sounds coming from within. In the forest, Wilson found an old, abandoned house. The house looked mysterious and neglected, with broken windows and a creaky door. Wilson approached the house cautiously, feeling something was wrong. As Wilson entered the old house, she felt a chilling cold. The house was full of dust and cobwebs, as if it had been abandoned for a long time. In one of the rooms, Wilson found a doll that looked like Maya's favorite doll. Wilson picked up the doll and looked around the room. There were several pictures on the wall showing children playing in the forest. Wilson felt like someone was watching from the shadows. Wilson climbed the creaky stairs to the upper floor. Each step made a terrifying creaking sound. When she reached the upper floor, she saw a door half open. In the room, Wilson found a table with some old books and maps. One of the maps showed the area around the forest with strange markings. This must be related to Maya's disappearance, Wilson thought. As Wilson examined the map, he heard footsteps approaching from behind. He turned around and saw the shadow of someone at the doorway. Wilson grabbed his flashlight and shone it on the shadow, but no one was there. Wilson felt something terrible lurking in the old house. He stepped out of the room, trying to find the source of the sound. When he reached the end of the corridor, Wilson saw a large, locked door. He could hear indistinct whispering behind it. He tried to open the door, but the key was missing. Wilson felt an increasing sense of dread. He found a small staircase leading to the attic. With hesitation, he climbed up to the dark attic. There, he found an old locked box. Wilson managed to open the old box and found a key inside. The key looked ancient and rusty. He went back down and tried to open the large door with the key. Behind the large door, Wilson found a dark room with large mirrors all around. In the center of the room, There was a wooden chair with ropes tied around it. The whispering grew louder, making Wilson feel uneasy. Wilson approached the chair and saw signs of struggle around it. Suddenly, the mirrors in the room started to shake, and the whispering turned into terrifying screams. Wilson tried to escape, but the door behind him closed on its own. Wilson felt trapped and panicked. He tried to open the door again, but the key wouldn't work. The screams grew louder, and strange shadows appeared in the mirrors. Wilson felt a dark force looming over him. The shadows in the mirrors started to move towards Wilson. He felt the air becoming colder and heavier. In panic, he looked around for an escape, but found nothing. Wilson felt weak and dizzy. He fell to the floor, feeling a mysterious force pulling him. The screams turned into eerie laughter. In a semi-conscious state, Wilson saw a large shadow dominating the room. The shadow looked terrifying and intimidating. Wilson tried to fight back, but his body couldn't move. The large shadow moved closer and touched Wilson. Its touch made Wilson's skin feel like it was burning. He felt immense pain and deep fear. Wilson tried to scream, but no sound came out. He felt his consciousness slowly fading. In his last view, he saw the large shadow smiling with a sinister grin. Wilson woke up in a different room, tied to the wooden chair with strong ropes. The room was dark and cold, with only dim light coming in through a crack in the wall. In front of him, there was a mysterious figure he couldn't recognize. The figure walked closer with slow and menacing steps. The mysterious figure stopped right in front of Wilson and stared at him with cold, empty eyes. The figure said in a voice that sounded like a rumble. Wilson felt an immense fear. The figure raised its hand and touched Wilson's forehead. The touch made Wilson feel a deeper wave of fear, as if his soul was being sucked out. Wilson felt his consciousness completely fade away. He couldn't feel anything anymore, only total darkness surrounding him. The figure laughed with a terrifying sound, leaving Wilson lifeless.